Now, my absolute favorite way for creating and managing content at scale, especially when I'm using AI, is with Notion. For that, I've made the dedicated Notion Second Brain OS interface. You get a complete Notion template, which has everything to do with all the content workflows. It has them end to end, planned out, and thoroughly vetted. This means you can get straight into content creation across all of your platforms. That dream of being omnipresent across X, LinkedIn, YouTube, your newsletter, your emails, all of that can finally happen because everything will easily and smoothly be in one place. For this, the big benefit that you have compared to Airtable or Google Sheets is that it's writing friendly. Notion by default was made with writers in mind. So you have slash commands, you have easy to edit interfaces, you have comments, you have everything that Google Docs would essentially offer, but a way better way of managing it. Now, I don't want to bore you, so let's get straight into it. Over here, I'm going to pick Claude Opus because I'm going to be pushing a lot of ideas. So I'm going to say, hey, could you push some dummy ideas to my content, to my knowledge? I'd just like to try it. Important thing, when you upgrade to the Notion Second Brain OS integration, you get two new actions. One is called add to my knowledge. The other one is called search my knowledge. Now, as it adds them or pushes them from here, they will immediately start to appear on the right side over here in Notion in the active list. So the first idea it's pushed is the Pomodoro technique. And the next idea is plant-based protein sources. Of course, keep in mind, these are just random ideas that I've asked to push. These aren't my ideas. One important thing to note, you'll see that it has neatly formatted everything. You can see they were indeed created by the Second Brain OS or via the Second Brain OS to be more precise, and tags were added as well. So while tags don't really matter, it's just a nice to have, which is over here, right? Now, when you get content landed inside of this interface, you have two options. Either you want to drag it to the calendar and assign it to yourself, right? Or you want to archive it. If you archive it, you'll see that it automatically disappears from the calendar and it lands in what is known as the archive list over here. So that is a very neat thing because it was the minimal number of clicks that you need to manage or organize your content ideas. If I want to take it back from the archive list into the active list, all I have to do is drag it to the calendar. So as soon as I drag it, it will be back in the active list. Now let's just add a few more ideas over here in the calendar and we can just like move it through. The next thing you can do in the calendar is going to move them ahead and also stretch them. So you don't necessarily have to have them locked to a 1 day deadline, but you can have them to 2-3 days, whatever you like. So let's move this here and we have 2-day deadlines for all of these, the vertical gardening ideas, plant-based protein sources, and the Pomodoro technique. With that, you are pretty much done with the plan and pick phase. And now it's time to start to work on these ideas, right? Now, of course, sometimes we can all feel a little bit overloaded when there is too much work on our plate. So I've added the click to archive button over here as well so that it gets completely removed from your work view. Let me show you what this looks like. Say that you have decided that you want to work on the plant-based protein sources for sure, and you also want to work on the vertical gardening ideas, but you feel like you don't have the space to work on the Pomodoro technique idea or tweet or whatever it is for today. So all you have to do is click to archive and it's disappeared from this view. And then you can start to move these forward as you write or record any of these ideas. So the first thing in content is obviously write the hook, then you write the body, and then you record or draft the write-up, right? Once you are done with the drafting stage, it is in a much better position and way closer to publishing. From here, what you want to do is edit your recording or edit your draft. That's a very typical phase. So that's just like the recording I'm doing right now. I would, of course, have to edit it to cut the ums, uhs, whatever I don't like or whatever needs to be added. So that's when something goes into the edit phase. And interestingly, if something on this stage still feels that you want to archive it, you still can. I wouldn't, but if you want to, you can. And then you finally move it to ready to publish. This means it's completely clear from your plate, right? And if you go back over here, it's clear from here. If you go back over here, it's still in the active list because it is still active. It hasn't been completed, right? So you're still working on it. Therefore, it's active, right? But over here, now you have a clean board because you just have one idea to work on. So now we can drag it here, here, here. And of course, you don't have to linearly drag things. You can hop between these cards as well. Do what you like is best. So I can just like hop from here to here, and then obviously hop from here to here as well. Now I have two ideas that are ready to publish. And you can see how fast we're actually moving and how organized we're staying at the same time. And the next thing I want to do is at the ready to publish stage, I want to make a decision as to where these ideas need to be published. So for example, over here, I'm going to go into platforms. Like first, I'm going to click on it, then go into platforms. And then I'm going to select all the platforms where I would like to publish this. So I'm publishing to Facebook, Instagram, and let's say it's a short, right? and I am saying that the media type is a video, it's a short video, right? So this makes things very, very cohesive, right? So you have a short video being published to Facebook, Instagram, which is about plant-based protein sources. Its tags are nutrition, health, plant-based protein, whatever. And this is your content, and this is whatever it is that you said in the video or whatever you've written. Excuse me. And now with that, we can then go ahead and take this content and publish it to whatever socials, Facebook and Instagram in this case. And then once you've done publishing it, we can move it to the post-it. Now, over here, when we go into track progress, we can see on the calendar that this is what's moving through the calendar, right? And so this has been posted, but this is ready to publish. And because this is ready to publish, I think I should work on it. So I should click here and see that, okay, maybe this one's going to be an email, and it's also going to be a newsletter. Sorry, it's going to be a newsletter, and it's going to go on the platforms Medium, and it will also go potentially to Twitter as a set of threads. So a newsletter that's broken down into threads and then posted to Twitter. And then the media type is obviously text because it is a newsletter, and it may not necessarily have a video. And so I'm just done with this, and I'm going to go back here and move it to posted. So now I can see that on my calendar, I have 2 things that were posted. And you'll see that on this calendar, you can't drag things because the date is locked, obviously, the day you posted it. So if you publish it today, then you can't change the date to tomorrow or day before. So that's a good accountability in place for there. And so you have the progress calendar, and you also have the progress gallery. So if you just want to have a high level view of what it is that you've done, what it is that you've completed, you can go to the gallery view. I personally like the gallery view more than the calendar because I can just see everything. I can see that I worked on it in these deadlines, and I completed it on the 28th of June, and I was to work on it on these dates, and everything is just like more neat for me in the gallery. But a lot of people prefer the calendar, so you do whatever works best for you, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, if you want a table view, all you have to do is click here and go into notes, and you'll see a nice table view, right? Over here, I've also created an additional filtered table. So you click on overview, and this gives you the most important fields. So you can see in one glance, let me see if I can stretch my screen a bit more, maybe a little bit more too. You can see that in one glance, everything is over here. And the idea that we archived has the archive status. And if you want to archive another idea over here, you can archive that too, right? And this table view also helps you have a mid to low level glance of what it is and where things are, right? So now quickly, I want to show you how these updates have also been reflected in all the other places across the content system. So let's go back. Let's go into plan and click over here. And we can see that in the active list, everything is gone. And in the archive list, we have the 2 ideas that we archived. Our calendar from here in the plan and pick is also clean now. And then we can also go into the create view over here. And we can see there's nothing in the create view because we moved it through all those stages. And in the edit and publish view, things are still in the post view. As the days go by, so for example, if it's tomorrow or a couple of days later, then these will also start to get removed from the posted view because you want to be seeing what's fresh and what's recently completed. And then finally, in the calendar, things stick in the calendar though. In the calendar and the gallery, everything sticks. So even if it's a couple of months from now, everything stays within that calendar because it's a way to look back at your progress. So in the calendar, things are there where they were, and also in the progress gallery, they're also where they were. With that, we now have a complete content system that is done for you. No fuss, no hassle. Everything just works out of the box. It's way better than Zapier with Google Sheets or Zapier with any other tool, or Airtable as well, because in this case, instead of having a monthly subscription the way you do with Zapier or Airtable, you have a one-time purchase. Now, the one-time purchase gives you a set of credits. These are AI credits that allow AI to send data to Notion, right? What happens is that when these credits run out, there is no subscription. There is no monthly charge, there is no annual charge, and it's completely pay-as-you-go. You simply go and top up your credits as per your needs, and you continue to use the system the way you would normally. This way, you're not locked in. You have so much freedom. So if you end up not using it, no problem. There's no annual fee. There's no monthly fee. You can just discard it. And if you use it, then you pay only for what you're using instead of paying too much every time. Because with Zapier and Airtable, what also happens is you have all this excess that hasn't been used, and then you're still paying for it. Over here, it's completely pay-as-you-go. So that's all about the Notion secondary analysis. And this is my personal favorite. Of course, I'm biased, but this is the way I create content. So if you want to create content at scale the way I do, this is the exact system I use, and it's up for grabs.